Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, my name is Reese 4Piece from KFC or Wookie Triple XL. I cannot wait to use. And in today's review, I've got a Hermes E3 RGB, which is sitting just behind this box. And if you think the box is small, well, the Mini 61 keyboard is even smaller. It's absolutely minute, to the point that this whole keyboard weighs just over half a kilogram, 550 grams. That's a pound and change for basically a pound and a quarter for any of our American audiences. So it's very, very, very light, but is it as light on feature set? Actually, not quite. It's quite well set up. Like I said, it's 61 keys. It does have 19 different RGB profiles built into the keyboard. You do not need any software to run anything that's on the keyboard. Everything you need is on the keyboard. So for instance, if I press function F2 and then I hit F9, you will see that the keyboard mode then changes. So you've got ripple effects, you've got a variety of effects on this keyboard, but I must say the one that for me is the most appealing is this sort of RGB ripple effect that they put into it, which is the primary one where it sort of grows the RGB from the inside out of the keyboard. I really like that. It looks really, really nice and clean and neat in a lot of ways, and it's fresh. It's got some nice movement in it. And the lighting itself is pretty good. It's more than enough for a dark room or anything like that. It's not going to flash your neighbor hectically, which is also quite nice. It's a nice midpoint. This being the brightest of the settings, you can turn it up and down or switch it off completely if that's what you want to do. Then you can have it in like a stealth mode where everything is then disabled. And as I said, all the function keys and stuff, everything you need is actually on the keyboard. So for instance, if you're looking for page up, page down, it is right here over to the side. And then you hit the primary function 1 and all of those function normally. And even the arrow keys have been put onto the WASD. So if you hold in the function 1 and you use WASD, it actually uses the arrow keys. So if you're used to having those for navigating Excel or something like that, then it actually is still on the keyboard. It is an extra key press to be able to do that, but it is still there, and it's the first time I've actually seen it put onto a mini keyboard. Another nice little thing that they've done is a fully removable USB Type-C cable, so you can pull that out, and it does stick in there quite nicely. I'm sure you guys heard it as I was pulling it out. It does give quite a lot of positive sort of connectivity and feedback. And I like that it's USB-C because it's got some future proofing in it, and if you ever lose or break your cable, then it's not the end of the keyboard. You can literally just replace that, because breaking this keyboard in of itself will take some doing. It's pretty damn sturdy in its build and really nicely put together. They do have some rubberizing on the bottom over here, so there are 2 rubberized zones over there, so you'll be able to put that in. There is some sort of switch underneath here, but even going through the manual, I don't know what it's for. So you'll see there's a little indent for me peeling it off to have a look in there. I can only assume that's for some sort of RGB function or something like that. There is an on-off switch in there, but it doesn't affect the working of the keyboard in general. Nicely finished brushed pattern on the back, and quite a decent thick base. It's got a nice sort of angle to it. There's no kickstand, so you're not going to be able to modify that angle, unfortunately, but it's really not the end of the world. The state that it sits in is very, very comfortable. And now, as I said, this whole keyboard weighs just over half a kilogram. So my mind immediately went to the fact that you could use this as like a LAN buddy. So just to disconnect the cable, wrap that up with the keyboard, shove it in a bag. It's really light, quite slim, even in this format. And then you've got a full mechanical RGB keyboard anywhere you go. And at 850 South African rands on the Evetech store, even under 1,000 Rand for a full mechanical keyboard with full RGB backlighting is a pretty good deal. And this is a little bit cheaper than that. And this is why I said I really like the Gamdias keyboards, because they're very good value for money. They might not have the most premium feature set or customization on 9,000 sort of levels, but they cost less than half of any of their competing products. And do I think that this is half the keyboard? Most certainly not. It's even got a Windows lock function built into the keyboard. So there's nothing that I feel you're going without by getting a keyboard like this. Yes, some software customization, maybe some macros or something like that would have been nice, but at the price point, There's literally nothing in the market with this sort of price and quality. The switch that they're using here is called Otemu, and it's actually being touted as pretty much the third best mechanical switch out right now. We know that Cherry MX is one of the best, and some of the brands do their own keycaps and keys, and a lot of those are very good, but for general sort of across market setups, it's Gator, and then it's actually Otemu, and I can see why. These have the blue set, which I'm not really a fan of blues. It's very, very loud and very, very clicky. Much prefer a brown type or red type switch that's got the normal, well, not a double click. And yeah, if you're spamming keys, you can hear how annoying that is going to become when you're in a LAN environment. People might actually come and rip the keyboard off your table and bash you over the head with it if they're sensitive to that sort of thing. But in this instance, the key is actually really, really good. I played some COD with it, which has become one of my staples of testing because it's just that much fun. Honestly, multiplayer is a really good time in Modern Warfare at the moment, and I do end up using quite a lot of the keys because you have all your kill streak stuff, your push to talk, your added ability. There we go. The brain fart was lasting very, very long, but there we go, which is on X. So you do tend to use quite a lot of the keys. G for grenades if you're still doing that. Q to throw your flashbang out, etc. So you do use quite a lot of the keyboard. I did some typing, use it for a day really, or half a day of normal sort of working and that sort of stuff. And I do miss having the arrow keys on the side, to be honest with you, because I use them for navigation quite a lot. But having them on the function key wasn't actually the end of the world. It was kind of cool. But if you're into mini keyboards, then this could be quite a good option for you, just based off of price. Anyway, that is all we have time for today. If you have enjoyed this review, then hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the flip side. Good afternoon, welcome back to Turbo